Down. This is a story with an unusual Welcome to Biomutant. Know that the Tree of Life is dying. Its days are numbered. Without help, it can't endure the environmental change and assault from the World Eaters. A signpost maps it out for the cartographically challenged. Let's see. Must be the World Eater that chewed off Out-of-Date's leg. You'll need a hat trick to bring that down. The World Eaters have made their marks on our world over time. That's not the first nor the last village it'll leave in its wake. Look, a survivor. Glad to see someone made it out alive.
Eine Fasu fairy tale.
He's heard the stories about the terror inflicted by the World Eaters to other enclaves, but never expected one to come all the way here. He worries there won't be much left to save if this continues, even if the Tree of Life survives the attack. He doesn't know what your connection is to this place, but something tells him you've stayed true to your heart. Anyway, he needs help and says it's by your actions you'll be judged, not by your intentions. He's grateful for that. You still seem to have a spark of light in you.
That's a spark of light in you!
What's there to like about light? It hurts to look at.
Not as much as it hurts to look at you.
Always making this personal.
And you're always trying to pretend it's not.
There's Out of Date again. He must have missed something important. Out of Date knows you'll make a better stand against the World Eaters with the support of a tribe, and there's two nearby. The Jagni tribe is likely to be your primary choice as they seek to become omnipresent and, most importantly, feared. Regardless of who you choose, it won't be easy, as the conflict between the tribes is worse than ever, teetering on the brink of war. The Myriad's conviction to stop the World Eaters began when the Leviathans rose from the depths of the surf. Siding with the Myriad's movement for wholeness in a fragmented world might seem like the logical thing to do, but is it the right thing? One thing's certain, though. Destiny arrives all the same. The Jagni tribe only ever had one conviction: to bring balance to the world by wiping out the weak. They believe a cleansing is necessary to restore the world and want to let the World Eaters bring down the Tree of Life. But siding with Jagni isn't necessarily a bad thing. Fate will find a way. Out of Date says someone needs to break the stalemate and shift the balance of power to either Jagni's or Myriad's side. He believes the tribe Sifus, Jagni especially, will listen to you and expects you to pay at least one of them a visit and play your part. In Jagni's case, letting the World Eaters bring down the Tree of Life is part of their plan. They believe a cleansing is the only way the world can be saved. He'll be waiting for you beneath the Tree of Life if you lose track of what you need to do. Regardless, you'll meet again once you've played your part in the tribe war and the situation with the World Eaters. Another fork in the road. It's either the tunnel or the motor bridge. What'll it be? It's unusual that natural tunnels like this still exist. Most of them got flooded. This area was beautiful before the tribe war began. Look at it now. It's a war zone. That's the Myriad Tribe's fortress. Will they be friends or foe? You should head up there. That way you'll know. Let's see. It's a beaten path to that door. If you go there, you'd better make an entrance. Says they're wary of strangers. They're at war. Wonders why the Sifu would want to see you, but he'll let you in and give it a try. The Myriad tribe act on understanding of the greater good and a code of honor. They believe uniting the tribes is the only way to restore the peace. The Sifu is convinced that defeating the World Eaters and saving the Tree of Life is the only way to make the world a better place. He welcomes you to the Myriad Fort and introduces himself as the tribe's Sifu. But he was hoping you'd show up. The news of a vigilante Ronin on crusade crossing the Great Wall through the crack in Bunker 101 has preceded you. He heard you took out-of-date side against the scavengers in Bunker 101. It seems you believe in helping your next, and that's something you have in common. He's convinced you've returned for a reason and is glad you chose to come here. There's something about your spirit that sparks memories of you as a kidling. He can still sense you're kind-hearted. The Sifu says sometimes one memory can make another come to life. He hasn't thought about your Muma for ages, even though she taught him a lot. He was one of the original WUNG-FU disciples. Your Muma invented WUNG-FU. Originally, it consisted of unarmed combat and the 6 weapons: the boomerang, the shuriken, the bow, the staff, the nunchuk, and the hook and chain. The Sifu says it's time to set the past aside, at least for now. Unrest is sweeping the land. Myriad wants unity between the tribes. Their goal is understanding of the greater good and establishing a code of honor. Says there has to be some dark so that light can prove its purity above it, and promises this will happen if you help them unite the tribes, defeat the World Eaters, and save the Tree of Life. He could only hope for you to do that, and is thankful you know what's right. That's a sign of strength. The Sifu was waiting for something to tip the balance in their favor, and with you by their side, he's confident you can unite the other tribes. The one you should coerce first is the Jagni tribe. The Myriad were placed here to fulfill a certain purpose, chosen to unite the tribes and take control of their destiny. The tribes need a firm hand guiding them into the future. Their kin have run out of options and found themselves backed into a corner. Even those who desire peace have been forced to prepare for war. They might bring them war, but they'll never take away their inner peace. He wants you to focus. These are the new rival outposts your tribe needs to take control of. Tells you not to be afraid. Your fate cannot be taken from you. He says you'll regret not being on their side. The only way you'll learn their secrets, WUNG-FU. Once you've dealt with the rivals' outposts, you'll challenge their Sifu to unite their tribe with yours and let your kin share land again. Myriad wants unity between the tribes. Their goal is understanding of the greater good and establishing a code of honor. He remembers your kind and unselfish soul and can sense you still have it in you. Anyway, the memories you make with your family are strong and can sometimes come to life. Passing the old village on your way to the first rival outpost might have... Even though it's now a different place from a different time. You have things to do, places to... Says... Better beware, that's a mump up ahead. They were hit hard by evolution, the wonky ones especially, deformed and unfurred. It's starting to add up. Get on. .21 gigawatts. Blasting everything to bits. Try again when you have some key energy. You're half dead.
Fuck.
Better beware, that's a mump up ahead. They were hit hard by evolution, the wonky ones especially, deformed and unfurred. You're not dead yet. Oh, that helps work the kinks out. Made it count. Smirked. You've already drained yourself. Tapped hard. Bang, bang. Middle-lifed. Bullseye.
Oh wow, their dead bodies are everywhere. I didn't even notice that. I like it. I like it so far. I seen it got bad ratings everywhere, but I like it so far.
Time is lost on this place, but it evokes a tingling sensation. There's something special about it, drawing you closer. Let's see. Let's see. As time passes, memories fade, and sometimes feelings change. It's not about who you were, it's about who you'll become. This story is far from over. Echoes of a long-lost past, like whispers in the wind. Here's someone who takes each day as it comes. He asks how you are today. Then he wants you to know that if you find yourself going through bad times, you should just keep going. He wonders where you've been. He hopes you've been out at the lake, practicing your swimming technique. Learning to swim can be scary when you don't know what you're doing. But fortunately, he's here to give you a helping hand. He thinks you should really know how to swim by now. And he'll be honored.
Finally, I can learn to swim. Let's go. He just throws me in. Here, swim. Ah, I was right near the steps, too. Where am I supposed to drown? Here, learn how to swim. Swim back to goop. Okay, yeah, so I'm supposed to do that.
He says, that wasn't too bad, was it? Way to go. Don't let the sound of the waves drown out your spirit. But you need practice. Lots of practice. Great things usually happen to those who never stop trying. He hopes you'll be one of them. You just need more time in the surf. That's the only way you'll ever learn how to swim. You can never try too hard. Judging by your Muma's look, it seems you forgot something. You promised you'd train with her before the sun goes down. It's time to go. The dedication to training is important. You can't rely solely on the fact that WUNG-FU is in your blood. You should know, practice makes perfect. You have to keep working on it if you want to be good at it. She'll see you at the village square. She'll be waiting. Here's another familiar face with lots on his mind. Asks how you're feeling today. His only interest when creating is that what he comes up with is actually useful. He was hoping... He's happy to hear that from someone. You should look for things that are recyclable. It should... He wonders what usefulness you found. He says he can work wonders with almost anything and asks if you know how to upcycle. That's the spirit. You can... He'd love to teach you to upcycle, and the scrap you found would be a good start. You
Let's
did
go!
well, but he can't help but wonder why you decided to craft a weapon. He appreciates those able to deliver a sharp remark.
You mean stars?
He understands, but hopes you won't be needing it anytime soon. He thinks he's looking forward to seeing what you'll make next. It seems you... It looks like she's starting to lose her patience. You know she doesn't like waiting for you. She wants to see you on the village square right away. Then you've got a good excuse. You share a responsibility to prevent hardship on nature and the environment. It's your future. She wants you to grow up and start thinking for yourself. You really need to find yourself before she's gone. She won't live forever, you know that. But she intends to make the most of every day she gets, especially the ones you share together. You've always followed your own path, but this time she needs you to follow her. Then start by meeting her on the village square and take it from there. They look determined. Better watch out. He asks you to stop right there and wonders where you think you're going. That makes him wonder why you were here looking. There's no way they'll let you pass. He wants to know who you think you are. You'll have to face pain at... She asks if you're hurt. What happened? If confidence is silent, the most important thing is that...
They took my weapon,
Time
though.
to focus on your training now. She said it before. WUNG-FU will...
Yeah, what the hell? They took my...
Here's someone close to heart, doing what he does best.
Is that my dad?
Seeing you always puts a smile on your Popsy's face.
Yeah, Popsy.
He wants to know how you're feeling. Training with Muma will make you feel better. It always does. He asks if you could help him too before you leave for training. He'll leave. He suggests you get... He's curious to see what you found. He says whatever it is, it shouldn't be... He can work wonders with pretty much... He says it's about time you learned how, and offers... The style might be too edgy for his taste, but it looks sharp on you. Agreed. You should take it with you, where it... He's looking forward to seeing...
Asil natu.
Your Muma says it's about time you got here.
Mustiki muhka.
Hopes you're...
Taifanamenuma. Yo no massaman barut.
She says she is eager to get started,
Ferena masalapu. Dropalu.
but there's...
Kamonu.
wants you to prove that.
Kamonu.
Your Muma says you did well today. She's so proud of you.
Arialoche nui mumera.
Thank...
Pendrine senema. Anora kapapum.
Been working on a present for you, with the help of...
Tukunda. Vaiseno kasaman barut.
You should go see him and find out what it is. You've deserved it.
Domale tuk.
Says he's always thought so... Catchy.
Asadurutu.
Your Muma says she's never seen an apparatus as green as this little thing. It's wonderful.
Kensib.
Figuring that out is...
Antoro. Kalino.
A piece of Scraptronics like this has built-in old-world tech that...
Ferena masalapu.
It's called an automaton, and it's hardwired to your DNA. It'll follow wherever you go and see whatever you see.
Kodutuku.
You're lucky to have such...
Andro.
Your Muma says you look tired. No wonder.
Ferena masalapu.
Says rest, and you'll find strength for tomorrow.
Probably when the attack comes. Yep, here we go.
Nothing could stop LUPA-LUPIN from setting the world on fire.
And then I escape, I guess.
Your Muma urges you to blaze a trail. A burnt kidling will learn to dread fire. That's just adding fuel to the flames. Give it a last burst and you'll make it.
Kodutuku.
Your Muma says this is it. The time has come. She must fight LUPA-LUPIN. This time there's no escape. She can hear him coming.
Asil natu. Urasadurut.
There's nowhere to run to this time.
Taifanamenuma. Ruemutum.
So this must be how she dies.
Whatever happens, you need to know she loves you. And everything she's done has been to protect you, your Popsy, and those she was
Popsy.
chosen to lead.
Ruemutum. Inadabsunka.
She had a life before you were born, you know. Darker and less fun. Here it comes. The past coming to haunt the present. You must go through fire and water to make it out of here. Your Muma says you can make it if you believe in it. Where she goes, you go. Blood is thicker than water. You're in deep surf. Don't make waves. The surf goes where it wants to go. It'll take you to the shore as long as you go with the flow.
Fuck, I don't know. I don't even know if I have enough to make it. Maybe if I go to one of the poles on the sides. No. I don't think I have enough to make it across. Oh, I can jump, okay. But that takes up stamina. There's no way I have enough. Yeah, maybe just enough, okay. Bruh! What am I doing wrong? Bruh, what am I doing wrong here? Okay, so jumping's not a good thing to do. Fuck, man, what am I doing wrong? Am I not supposed to go straight? Okay, okay, okay. QTE was off every time. That's how she dies.
Death is not to be feared by one who has lived life with a pure heart. A part of her will live on in you. The creature is hungry for more. Nothing is going to stand in its way now. If a sacrifice is made for someone else, it's not lost, but passed on to the next. Life must go on. Real sacrifice comes from love and necessity when all other options are exhausted. The ultimate test of conscience is the willingness to give up anything to save what you truly care about. What you do for yourself dies with you. What you do for your kin remains and makes you immortal in their memory.
Huh. Okay, so that's how his mom and dad died.
As the moment fades and is lost, the only thing that remains is loneliness. It doesn't mean you'll forget your past. It simply means you need to move on. Nothing gets past you. Wonder what oddness you could get up to now. Those look sharp on you. The tribe's caught a fluffy hulk. Better watch out, it's no pet. They couldn't keep it down. Fluff hulk's on the loose. Rid of the aches and pains. Took care. Your key energy isn't up to that. Right between the eyes.
Ein ouch alla George, rayo tesucho.
You gave them no choice but to take it down, even though they'd planned to take the Fluff Hulk out to the far Fnacky Leaves and let it go.
Oh.
Nabukelio, kunyanyaima jama.
They've received news a Ronin had strengthened their ranks and were looking forward to meeting you.
Mi Michaelur.
A group of myriad crusaders already headed out to Jagni's Mercadorpus outpost and are waiting for you there.
Te, mes fasolala. Sevuche kungchuva balpareknek.
The Myriad tribe is prepared to fight to the death for souls that will be forever lost if not.
Wow, this guy had nothing to loot? Really?
Look, an emergency box from the... Wow, bet that nut makes a tight fist.
Hey!
Toxanol was something called a corporate juggernaut, and our world still bears the marks of the massive ecological catastrophes they inflicted upon the land. The apocalypse they caused was the end of days for their world. But for us, it was simply a beginning.
Get it.
What can't you take? least being underground keeps you out of the weather.
Bonk the wall. Bruh, I'm trying.
Fine time to be outside.
Why isn't this working? Bonk the wall. Bruh, what am I missing?
Toxanol was something called a corporate juggernaut, and our world still bears the marks of the massive ecological catastrophes they inflicted upon the land. The apocalypse they caused was the end of days for their world. But for us, it was simply a beginning.
I gotta look this up.
Feels like a monster's lair down here.
Bruh. Are you serious? Why wouldn't it say that? Bro.
Tunnels like this still carry echoes from the past, Can you hear it? Hard to tell how deep down you are. Burnt all.
Feel like Doomfist.
Whacked. Just what you were looking for. Flop-bed. Bash down. That notice board? Filled with the leftovers of used-to-be wants. You're getting close to one of those old Toxanol brick towns. Pay attention. The Toxanol Corporation made this place, and then just threw it away when they were done with it. Toxanol never cared about the waste, as long... There must be a track somewhere in this...
There we go. Now I'm finding stuff.
Could be something sneaking around every tree. This corner of the world is called Bricktown.
Nothing over here.
Let's see. Let's see. Never. It's all about destiny. Yours, mine, the entire world's. You need to get the pegs lined up to get the cloak. Just a few moves left. Make them count. You really put a spin on it. A flush seems like the tighteners on the piping need to be unturned correctly to drain the flush stool. Just a few moves left. Make them count. That's what you could call a wet disaster. You need to unturn the pipe tighteners to drain the flush stool. That's what you could call a wet disaster. You need to unturn the pipe tighteners to drain the flush stool. That's what you need to unturn the pipe tighteners to drain the flush stool. That's what you could call a wet disaster. You need to unturn the pipe tighteners to drain the flush stool. That's what you could call a wet disaster. You need to unturn the pipe tighteners to drain the flush stool. That's what you could call a wet disaster. You need to unturn the pipe tighteners to drain the flush stool. That's what you could call a wet disaster. You need to unturn the pipe tighteners to drain the flush stool. what you could call a wet disaster. You need to unturn the pipe tightness to drain the flush stool. That's what you could call a wet disaster. You need to unturn the pipe tightness to drain the flush stool. That's what you could call a wet disaster. You need to unturn the pipe tightness to drain the flush stool. That's what you need to unturn the pipe tightness to drain the flush stool. That's what you could call a wet disaster. You need to unturn the pipe tightness to drain the flush stool. That's what you could call a wet disaster. You need to unturn the pipe tightness to drain the flush stool. That's what you could call a
I don't
wet
get this
disaster.
one.
You need to unturn the pipe tightness to drain the flush stool. That's what you could call a wet disaster. You need to unturn the pipe tightness to drain the flush stool. That's what you could call a wet disaster. You need to unturn the pipe tightness to drain the flush stool. That's what you could call a wet disaster. You need to unturn the pipe tightness to drain the flush stool. That's what you could call a wet disaster. You need to unturn the pipe tightness to drain the flush stool. That's what you could call a wet disaster. You need to unturn the pipe tightness to drain the flush stool. That's what you could call a wet disaster. The sun's a long ways away. You need to unturn the pipe tighteners to drain the flush stool.
Whatever, I just fucking mashed it.
That's the kind of trouble you really want to wash away. The dark's good for sneaking up on things. Finders keepers. With luck, you'll spot trouble before it spots you.